Hello, I'm Richard McAllister from Capistrano Volkswagen in San Juan Capistrano, California, and this is the all-new 2013 CC. Volkswagen lately has been doing a mid-year model replacement on the CC. Last year at this time they brought out the 2012. This year they're bringing out the 2013 with a lot of nice updates and improvements to it. What you'll notice first about the new CC is the front end and the back end. The front end has what they're calling the Volkswagen corporate face to it. It's got a really nice, bigger aggressive chrome grille. The Volkswagen logo is a little bit larger and has gloss black here instead of hollow right here. Bigger bumper. More aggressive styling along here. You'll notice that the fog lamps, instead of just being little round things, are nice, big, swoopy, chrome accented fog lamps. And these new xenon headlamps, these are the xenon headlamps that have what's called AFS, which is automatic front lighting system. The headlamps turn when you turn the steering wheel. They also self-level. And then around the headlamps are the LED daytime running lights in the kind of U shape, which has become a trademark for Volkswagen. From the rear, the most striking change is the new taillights that they've put on the CC. The taillights, the ones from before, were kind of oval and had some amber blinkers in them. They are now same overall shape, but instead of ovals, they have these lines. They're actually LEDs with some fiber optics behind them that bring the lights out. It's really striking, particularly at night. And another thing I noticed was that this left side tail light, when you look at it, this part here and here, it actually looks like it says CC. The CC has always had an enormous trunk. You open it, a lot like some other Volkswagens, by tipping the Volkswagen symbol right there. It's really deep as far as how far back it goes from inside. You don't realize how deep it is from the outside. You also, underneath, have a full-size, real spare tire with all of your tools and everything over here. Also underneath here, you'll notice, are these little grocery bag hooks. There's 4 of them now. They've also changed the way that the back seats fold down. It used to be that you'd have to walk around and pull them down. They're now spring-loaded, so if you have something in your hands and you want to put it in from behind, you don't have to walk around and put the seats down. You can pull these levers right here. So there's this one, puts down that side, and this one puts down that side, and you've got full access to the trunk and back seat without having to walk all the way around. The back seat of the 2013 CC is different from any other CC of previous model years. It used to be that there were only 2 seats in the back with a center console. They've changed that for 2013. You'll notice they've kept the deep buckets for the outboard positions. However, instead of having just a console here in the center, which mirrored the front console, they now have a center jump seat. It's kind of a jump seat. I don't think that you would want to have a full-sized adult sitting here for a long road trip, but you know, having people hop in, going to lunch, or children, that kind of thing. Third seatbelt, the whole thing. It used to be that the 5th passenger elimination was something that people didn't like about the CC. They have solved that. You can see I can actually sit here. It's a little short maybe, but and again, I wouldn't want to go on a long road trip, but you can actually sit here comfortably. The front headrest has also been updated for 2013. It used to be that you could only raise and lower the headrest. They've taken the headrest from the new Touareg and made it so that you can also push the headrest forward and slide it back very easily. So you've got 4 ways that you can adjust the headrest now. There's an armrest in the back of the CC for the 2 outboard passengers. It also has within it storage space and some pop-out cup holders right here. So your rear seat passengers should be as comfortable as your front seat passengers. Speaking of rear seat comfort, your rear seat passengers won't be sweltering hot while you're freezing up front, because there are actual air conditioning and heat vents here in the center, as well as underneath both front seats. Both front seats of the CC are full power adjustment. They have your seat controls right here at the bottom. You can of course slide the seat forward and backward, the seat angle back and forth. It also can raise the seat. If you lift both front and back, you can raise the front and the back of the seat or lower them respectively. And this 4-way button right here is very significant. This is your lumbar support. You can increase and decrease your lumbar support, but you can also raise it and lower it to get it right in the small of your back. The CC has a number of little cubby holes, including a driver's side glove box, which right here has a couple of slots for coins. You'll also notice that it has automatic headlamps, so they're on at dusk, off at dawn, and most of them have fog lamps, which you turn on by turning on the headlamps and then pulling to turn on the fog lamps. You can adjust the steering wheel both tilt and telescopically. The adjustment for that is a little far away. It's down here. You pull this out, then you can tilt the steering wheel and telescope it. Put it right where you like it. And then you snug that back up to lock it into place. The CCs all have an automatic self-dimming rear view mirror. There are sensors here and here, and when there's more light coming from behind, say from headlamps, than there is from the outside, say from sun, it will dim the rear view mirror automatically, so you don't have to flip a switch so that you're not blinded by traffic coming from behind. The CC also has automatic rain sensing windshield wipers. Right here against the windshield is a sensor that can tell when raindrops hit. And if you turn on the windshield wipers to their intermittent setting, it will turn on the wipers only when needed, and also speed them up and slow them down depending on how intense the rain is. Let's look and see what's under the hood. This particular model is the Sport Plus trim level. That means it has the 2-liter turbo engine, or the 2.0T, which is the same engine that Volkswagen uses in, of course, the CC, the Tiguan, the EOS, and also the GLI and the GTI. Audi uses the same engine in the A3, the A4, the entry-level A5, the entry-level Q5, a whole bunch of other cars. It's a 4-cylinder, turbocharged 2-liter, 200 horsepower, 207 pounds-feet of torque. The engine is mounted transversely, meaning across the engine bay rather than along the engine bay. This right here is the ram air intake for the turbo system. This is the main air cleaner right here. And the battery up here in its own little box, isolating it from the rest of the engine. Oil filler is right here. Oil dipstick is right here. Oil filter is actually right there on top. This is the coolant. They use G12, which is it's a little different coolant than the normal antifreeze you see in a lot of cars. It helps your engine, your radiator, your coolant system last up to twice as long because it's much less corrosive as regular antifreeze. And then right here is your filler for your washer fluid. Volkswagen calls this engine the TSI engine. You'll see right here it says TSI, which stands for Turbo Straight Injection. That means that the fuel is actually injected straight in to the cylinder. Most engines, it is injected through a port that opens during the cycle. In the TSI, it's injected directly into the cylinder. What that does is it makes it so that the fuel is dispersed more evenly inside. It makes a more efficient dispersal of fuel, gives you a more efficient engine with more power. The CC has a very interesting key. This is actually the key. And to start the car, you place it here in the dashboard and with your foot on the brake, press. So it's a start-stop button, but the key itself becomes the button. You then press it again. If you want to shut it off, pull it out. I'm just going to turn on the car to show us some things about the navigation system, the stereo, some of the technology. Let's start right here with the sound system. It's got AM and FM and CD. You press band to get to FM, AM, and not CD, I mean Sirius satellite radio. Right underneath there is the media button. There's 5 different types of media. There's CD, SD card, auxiliary, Bluetooth streaming, as well as an iPod connection, which is in the glove box. I'm going to show you how to connect up your cell phone via Bluetooth to the system. They changed it just a little bit this last year. So you press phone, and then you press setup. Right up here where it says Bluetooth settings, you choose that and say set Bluetooth visibility to make the car visible to the rest of the Bluetooth devices. Then you go to your phone, go to, here I'll show you the general, right here, general settings, Bluetooth, and where it says VW phone, that's the one that it has found. I'm just going to choose that and choose the pin which says 0000 and hit pair. Now it connects up to the phone. And it has found my phone, called it McPhone, and it shows you right here that it's Bluetooth connected and the strength of my signal. To actually make a phone call, you can do so a couple different ways. If you just want to dial a number, you press this button, punch in the number. This is the back button. If you want to go into your phone book, you can either just touch this button or you can turn this knob and choose the phone book and scroll through all of your contacts. You can also scroll through this way and just choose the number that you want and say call. I can also make a phone call just with my voice. I can either press this little button right here on the screen, that is the microphone, or that same button right over here on the steering wheel.
Main menu.
Help.
Help. To call a contact, say for example, call John Smith at home. You can also say, dial number, redial, or further options. To stop the dialogue at any time, say cancel.
Cancel. So you can actually just say the name of a contact as it is listed in your phone. So let's try that.
Main menu.
Call CapoVW.
Say, on mobile phone, general.
General.
Calling, CapoVW, general.
And it makes the phone call. I'm just going to stop that before anybody picks up though. I want to show you how easy it is to use your iPhone or iPod to play music through the stereo system in the CC. I happen to have a little iPod right here. Just take your iPod and then over here where the glove box is, you open it. There's a special little drawer with a little cable right here. Plug in your iPod to it and it goes to accessory mode. Slip your iPod back up in there so that you don't ever have to mess with it. Then over here on the screen, it will start playing the last song that you were playing. For me, it was an Underworld song. Right now it's on Mix Folder. So if you hit options, you can mix stuff in the folder, mix all your songs, repeat a track, scan across the songs if you want. But most people, of course, would just want to find a song that they want to hear. When you hit list, it defaults to the songs menu. You can scroll through this way. You can actually jump down by dragging this little indicator down. Find a song that you want to listen to and just press it. And then at that point, it'll show you that song. Right along here, you'll see that this arc fills up as the song continues. That's actually your progress bar. So, and then that's how many seconds are left. Oops, hit the button. That's how many seconds are left in the song. That's how many seconds have elapsed in the song. You can also stream music from your Bluetooth-enabled cell phone without it even being plugged into the car. So for instance, right here under Media, if I press the Media button, then choose the Bluetooth button, right here, I can just play a song on my iPhone, and it will start playing right there on the stereo without it even being plugged in. Let me give you a brief overview of the navigation system. Press the nav button right here, and it brings up kind of your interface. If you push it again, you get your map screen. So I'm going to go back to the interface here. These different icons are different inputs. So for instance, this one is if you want to put in an address, you can choose the number of whatever house that you want to put in and the street that you want to put in. It's just going to find one for me. Novak Street in Riverside. I'm going to press that. Now, if I wanted to save this to my system, I could for future use, or I could just hit start.
The route is being calculated. The destination is in the displayed direction. The route includes toll roads.
You can also eliminate toll roads if you want. You do that by going into the Setup menu and choosing Route Options and saying, I want to avoid toll roads. Then now when I go back,
the route is being calculated.
She is now...
The destination is in the displayed direction.
She is now calculated without toll roads. You can also use the navigation system to find named businesses or whatnot. You can either touch point of interest right there, and you can search by name. Say I wanted to choose, I don't know, find the nearest roast beef fast food restaurant. It's going to find one for me, and I'm going to choose that. Now, this is kind of interesting. You can either have that be a new destination or a stopover on the way to your destination. So I'm going to say, you know, I'm hungry. I'm going to stop there on the way to my final destination.
The stopover is in the displayed direction.
So now it's going to route me to my stopover, then to my final destination. It's kind of a neat feature that Volkswagen does. If you want her to stop talking while you're driving, you know, maybe you actually know where you're headed after a little while. Right here, it says how far away you are from your destination and what time you're going to show up there. But if you want to bring up this little menu, options and stop, you have to press a button and then you can hit stop. I can delete either just the stopover or the guidance to the entire destination. The CC has dual zone automatic climate control. Either side here, you can set the temperature to what you want the car to take that side of the car to. Now, right now, sync is active. So as I turn the driver's side, the passenger side also changes. Now, if I can either press sync to shut off the synchronization, or if I just turn this knob, it will shut off the synchronization and take that side of the car to a different temperature than this side of the car. You can have up to 15 degrees difference between the two sides of the car. If you wish to control the climate control system yourself, you can do so also. The center knob here is the fan speed. You can also press these buttons up here to tell the system where the air should be coming out. So, for instance, this is the dashboard for defrost. That is the dashboard vents. These are foot vents. You can have them all on. You can have just one of them on if you wish. This button right here is the recirculate button. That turns on the recirculation. You can also turn on automatic recirculation. What that means is, as you're driving along, there's a sensor that can sense pollen, pollutants, that sort of thing, and will automatically turn on the recirculation system so that you don't get all of those awful smells. Right here is the seat heater button for the passenger side. There's high, medium, low, and off. And same for the driver's side, high, medium, low, and off. Right here is the button to clear your dashboard, to clear the windshield very quickly. It gets a little bit noisy. And then this is your rear window defog button right there. And if it's a really hot day and you just want to cool down the interior as fast as possible, you hit the AC max button, sets everything to low, turns up the fan really high. This is what Volkswagen likes to call their MultiFunction Indicator. You can have any number of things right here in the center screen. This, for instance, is a digital speedometer. You can also choose a speed warning. I actually have mine set at 80 miles an hour. What that does is gently chimes and reminds me that I'm speeding because the car is so smooth that sometimes you don't realize how fast you're going. It also will show you how long you've been traveling, your consumption, how many miles per gallon instantly. This will change every second. Your average miles per gallon, your range to empty, how far your route has taken you, your average speed on your route, and then we're back around to your digital speedometer. If you go left and right, you can also see things like your audio menu. So, for example, this is what is playing off of the Bluetooth. Now, if I chose the media device interface, it's going to show the song that's playing off of your iPod. If you go up and down in this menu, it's going to go through the different songs that you have lined up. That same thing can be accomplished, of course, by pressing the buttons here, left and right, on the steering wheel without being in this menu. The up and down buttons here are for volume, so you can raise and lower the volume. If I push over to the right again on this side, this is the navigation screen. What's nice about that is, let's say I put in our destination to the stopover.
The route is being calculated.
It's going to tell
The
me
destination is in the displayed direction.
my next turn and how far away I am and everything, so that I can focus right on the road and the dashboard rather than having to look down over to my navigation system. If I push over one more time, this is my phone menu. Going up and down will show me my phone book, my call history, so you can make calls and receive calls right here through the central interface. If I push right again, turns on things like, this is the AFS, or the auto front system. That's the focusing headlamp. Some people don't like the headlamps that turn, so you can turn them on and off right here. This is your vehicle status, tells you how full your tires are or when your next service is. And then one more push to the right is settings for the car. There are so many settings for this car. For example, if you want your car to talk to you in British English instead of American English. If you want your horn to honk or to beep when you set the alarm, or to be silent. There's all sorts of things that you can set up, and your service or your sales consultant should set those up with you when you take delivery of your vehicle. Here between the driver and passenger is a really nice console. Nice deep cup holders with these little retainer things that keep your drinks stable, as well as a couple of little slots here that are just perfect for putting your phone or whatnot into, so that they're kind of out of the way but still held safely. Underneath this armrest is a huge compartment where all sorts of stuff could get lost. The armrest itself can be adjusted to 1, 2, 3 different heights so that you can be comfortable when you're driving down the road. It can adjust to the different heights for what you like. To reset it, you lift it all the way up and then set it back down. The CC, like the Tiguan, has an electronic parking brake. It's got a lever right down here. It's actually a little switch. You lift up on it like this. Light goes on. That tells you your parking brake is set. To take it off, you press down on it. That accomplishes two things. First of all, you don't have a great big lever sitting there interfering with, where you want to put things. Secondly, if you actually have to apply the brake in an emergency situation, rather than just yanking on a lever which pulls a cable and stops your back tires, potentially making you skid, this electronic parking brake applies using ABS, or anti-lock braking system. So it's actually a safer emergency brake. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the new 2013 CC. I think it is spectacular looking and that they've done some really nice improvements. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. My phone number at the dealership is 949-234-4220. Thanks a lot.